Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. Honored to be connecting in with you. And we are halfway through July. I can't believe how quickly time is going. And one of the things we like to focus on in July and the summer months, we like to look at how are we showing up in our life, regardless of circumstances, regardless of what's happening around us. How are we choosing to show up? Are we holding back or kind of treating it like a dress rehearsal? Next time I'll fully show up. Next time I'll shine in that way. Or are we really choosing mindfully and purposely every day, whatever the circumstances, whatever the opportunity, are we choosing to echo out, to share out, to shine out those things that really matter to us? I believe we have opportunities every day to walk our talk, to walk in a way that we are sharing with the world those things that matter most to us, whether it's on stage or it's standing in a line. We have an opportunity to share out, be mindful and purposeful about the energy, the emotions, the thoughts, the energy, the things that we are echoing out into the world. And today we're going to talk about how do you thrive, so really not just survive, but thrive as you shine your light out into the world, as you share out. So today, as we're reflecting on that, we have an amazing guest that's leaning in to support us on our journey. It's been through some really challenging circumstances and has chosen to keep shining, to thrive, to be really mindful and purposeful on how they're choosing to share out in the world. So I think we have a lot that we'll get to reflect on and think about today during the conversation. And I want you to be able to get the most out of our time together today. So to do so, let's take a breath. In through the nose, all the way to your toes. Actually stretch my arms up to expand my being as I breathe in and then out. And as I mindfully, purposely, as we mindfully and purposely breathe, it gives you an opportunity to center, to slow down. Purposeful, mindful breathing helps lower our stress levels, our cortisol levels. Keep breathing. Helps us become more centered and gives us an opportunity actually here. Sometimes we're so busy in action, moving, doing the next thing, we forget to actually slow down a little bit and listen and hear. So today I want to encourage you and challenge you to be really present. Keep breathing throughout the show. Use the breaks as an opportunity to breathe and integrate, take in those things that serve you most, and breathe out those things that no longer do. And in fact, let's dial this up a notch. Go ahead and close your eyes. You're absolutely safe. Keep breathing. Beautiful. Unless you're driving, please keep the eyes open, but still keep breathing. So eyes open or closed. Just taking a moment to center in. And I want to ask you the question, what is it that you need today? What is it that's going to encourage you, to support you, empower you? What do you need real time to support you on your journey? That you are willing to receive because you have choice. So what is it that you need and are willing to receive? Just see what that answer is. Sometimes it's a memory, a reminder, a sound, a noticing of something. Whatever it is for you, just take a moment and receive. Beautiful. Let's take another breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth, becoming fully present, eyes open, and take a moment and write down what was laid on your heart, what it is that you need, and are willing to receive. Here's an opportunity for you to keep that top of mind. By writing it down, you're starting to co-create it, interact with it. And what's beautiful about this is you don't have to figure out how. You don't have to figure out all the details. It's just identifying what it is you need and being open and actually looking forward to the unexpected way that need will be met. So you want to be alert, open, watching, and excited for what will come. Beautiful. With that, we're going to go around our virtual room. And Carrie, I'd love for you to share what was laid on your heart when you took a moment to stop, pause, and listen.
The very first thing that came to my mind is that I want everybody to know that whatever they're going through, it is just a moment in time, and that time will pass.
Beautiful. I love that. I'm writing it down because sometimes those moments can be overwhelming at times. So just remembering that it is a moment and it will pass. Thank you for sharing that. And listeners, how about you? What was laid on your heart when you took a moment to just connect in? I know for me, I was really appreciating the ability to speak. It's something that I got pretty sick about a week and a half ago, and I lost my voice for several days. And that's what I do. So much of my work is speaking, and that's how I communicate with the world so much. So it was very frustrating for me and stretching, and it was really good to be able to be quiet and to listen more and receive more. And so it's been really nice. I'm grateful for that time. I'm grateful for feeling so much better and the opportunity to be here with all of you and to be able to connect with our voices and our energy and our spirit. So I just had a feeling of appreciation for that and the whole journey of it, because it makes me appreciate this moment even more. So enjoy this commercial break we have. We are getting ready to go into this first commercial break, and it's really an opportunity for you to continue to think and receive and see what's speaking to your heart, what's speaking to your spirit. What are you discovering? What are you taking a moment to notice? Or what it is that you need? So enjoy, and we'll look forward to continuing our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. That's EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes just for you. And as we were coming back, I caught the tail end of one of the commercials, one of the announcements that we had during the break. And it talked about the speaker talent search. And I thought, how perfect is that? Because today we're talking about thriving as you shine your light. And so one of the ways, if you have a message, if you feel a pull and a call to impact the world in a positive way through sharing your wisdom, your message, what you have discovered and learned, I want to encourage you to check out the Speaker Talent Search. You can find information at speakertalentsearch.com. There is a deadline coming up of July 31st. Don't wait till the last minute. You'll want to make sure you give a little bit of time to it. But it's an opportunity to get on more stages, to reach outside of your current circle of influence, to touch more lives. So I just heard that and I wanted to highlight it and encourage you all to shine your light and look into the speakertalentsearch.com, because I believe the world needs more of you. And that's an opportunity you have to lean in and share your gifts, to share your talents with the world. So we've been talking about how do we thrive as we shine our light, share our gifts out into the world. Very excited to more formally introduce our guest so you know a little bit more about her. You heard from her on a heart level when we opened up the show. It's Carrie Portell is a professional speaker, best-selling author that has inspired thousands to change their perspectives by sharing her triumphs and challenges of her 4-year recovery of being a survivor of a drunk driver. She received disabling injuries, and through that journey has become passionate about helping you break through all limiting beliefs. Please lean in and warmly welcome the powerful and dynamic Carrie Portell to the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Rebecca.
You're so welcome. I'm thrilled to have you joining us today. And I wanted to start with a little bit of your comment actually in the opening segment where you talked about that this is a moment in time and just remembering that it will pass. And I can see that in the highs in life, and I can see that at the lows in life. It just gives a different perspective. And I think it's very powerful coming from your journey and what you've discovered. So I'd love for you to comment on that and share why this work of helping people change their perspectives and really break through limiting beliefs. Why is that work so important to you?
That comment that I made was something that I had to use many times over during my healing journey. And when you get in those valleys, it's very easy to have tunnel vision and you're thinking this moment's never going to end. It's so challenging right now. I don't know how I can make it through it. And it's so easy to get that negative self-talk in your head that things are never going to get better. But the constant reminder that, this is just a moment in time. It may not be going well, but things will change, and they always do change. So just trying to remind yourself that you're not going to be stuck in this valley forever is definitely essential to any challenge that you're going through in life.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I think it's something that we can cling to in those valleys. What are your
I feel
thoughts?
like I definitely did.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm curious too what your thoughts are about that in kind of the highs in life too. How does that touch your heart around that as well?
Yeah, always remembering, like whenever things are going good, it's great. You're thinking, you want this to last forever. And it's not that you need to be negative and say, hey, this isn't going to last forever either, but just be prepared for whenever those highs, like nobody stays on that high for the rest of their life. There's always going to be some kind of valley that's going to come, some kind of challenge is going to come in your life. And when you go from that high and maybe to an extreme low, that's where that phrase, it's just a moment in time, really will come in and help you through that, because remember, there is always going to be a high again. You're just going to have to get through whatever you're going through right now.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. And I'd love for you, I know I gave just a little snapshot, little snapshot of your journey. I'd love for you to share a little bit of what you discovered. So being hit by a drunk driver and all that followed and the recovery, and that part of that really helped bring you closer to God. So I'd love for you to share just a little bit of that journey so people who don't know you know a little bit more about you and how it brought you closer to God.
Yes, definitely. When I tell people, I had a 4-year recovery, they're like, I don't understand, how can a recovery be that long? And it's just because I never stopped having reconstructive surgeries. And the reason I had so many is that I was trying to get back to the point where I could walk on my own with no support. And going through a period of time that is that long and that intense, it showed me who I was. And at 35, I was like, wow, like I did not know what I was made of before this happened. Like I thought I was a tough old gal, but it really shows you how, I guess, committed and faithful that you have to be to yourself and life, to family, to God, everything, to be able to get through something like this. And for that many years, I couldn't really do much of anything. So every day I would have conversations with myself and I would have conversations with God. And my conversations with God were always asking, what am I supposed to be doing for you? Because I know you didn't leave me here unless you have a reason. And for a long time, I didn't hear anything. And that's because I first needed to heal, not just physically, but emotionally. But my relationship with God, I feel like now is just like my husband's. It's filled with a lot of sarcastic humor, but I think God likes my banter because he knows he's always going to win.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And I love that you're bringing real conversations to God and listening and going back and forth. I love that.
Yes.
And in those really intimate moments, and I love that you kept reaching out, even though you didn't hear it first because you had to heal just emotionally and physically. So I love that you honored that and that you didn't give up. And to me, it seems like that would be so difficult to have some of that silence, to be facing so many reconstructive surgeries, 4 years, 365 days times 4, all of those hours to be continuing to heal, continuing the journey. How were you able to keep going and not give up?
I don't want anyone to think that it was an easy process. I definitely got frustrated. I was 35. I had 4 young children, and I was a busy mom. I never stopped. I worked a full-time job, and then our kids were involved in sports and school activities, and I just wanted to get back to my normal is what I was thinking. I just want to get back to my normal, be able to do these things. And I remember just, all the time asking God, I'm like, what are you waiting for? Why aren't you telling me what I'm supposed to be doing? I feel like I'm wasting time. And, everything is learned and seen in retrospect. And whenever I would look back, every 3 to 6 months, I'm like, wow, Carrie, like you couldn't do anything at all back then because you were in so much pain and continuing to have surgeries that you just need to heal. And eventually, you get to the point where you go through all these acceptance phases and you're thinking, okay, maybe I do have something I'm supposed to do for God, but I need to take care of myself first, which is not something that I had ever done before, making yourself a priority when you have 4 youngsters in the house. So that's where a lot of those conversations came from. What are you waiting for? Why aren't you telling me? Why can't I hear it? And it was at the end of that 4th year that I finally heard it loud and clear what I was supposed to do for him.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm just giving a moment to let that sink in, that asking those questions, healing, and waiting for the answers. And healing takes work and energy. It's not passive to allow healing internally and emotionally and physically. All of that takes time. And so then you get to that fourth year and you start to hear why and what you're called to do. Do you mind sharing a little bit about what that was like and what you discovered?
Yeah, I had been getting pretty frustrated with God towards the end of that fourth year, and there was a very specific moment that I heard it. I had just completed my second speaking event ever, and it was only 20 minutes long, and I was sitting back in the audience listening to the other speakers, and it was like nobody else was in the room. I mean, I was having a one-on-one conversation with God, and I told him I was getting a little sassy, you know. I said, I'm tired of waiting. You need to just come out with it and just, like, be blunt. Just tell me so I can hear you. And, I mean, it was as if he was standing right in front of me, and he said, I need you to do the one thing that you've both been most afraid of in your entire life, and that is speak up. Mm. And I remember just sitting there shaking my head because he knows that I was an introvert. I'd always been quiet. Growing up, I was always taught, be quiet. You don't need to say anything. And that's just the way that I entered into my adulthood. And I was in awe. I was almost in denial because I was like, this cannot be what you want me to do is go around speaking about this for a living, you know. And sure enough, he's like, oh, yes, I do. This is what I've been waiting for, to tell you.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And you leaned in and said yes.
I did. I was terrified, and I did it anyway.
Mm-hmm. And not only are you speaking and sharing and being visible, being seen, sharing, standing up, and stepping into those more visible places outside your comfort zone, you also brought a book forward about your journey, and that you're also using that to share and to touch people's lives. So do you mind sharing a little bit about the title of your book and what you hope that it does for people, what they discover?
Sure. The title is kind of like a play on words. We were in a head-on collision, and it's called Facing Life Head On. So it's about the head-on collision, but then that's how my family and I faced the situation that we were in. We didn't try to deny it. We didn't try to go around it. We knew it happened. There was nothing we could do to stop it. But from that point forward, we had control of how we were going to handle what we were going through as a family. And so the Facing Life Head On is kind of like facing your challenges head on. And then, of course, the head-on collision is what started, you know, as the catalyst for everything else that has happened in our lives.
Mm. Thank you for sharing, for your willingness to say yes, even though it terrified you, that you continue, because that's something else. You get to keep saying yes. It's not just a one-time yes, I have found. You get to keep saying yes and sharing, and even being on the show today is another way of saying yes and sharing. So do you have any final thoughts or words that you have on your heart to share with our listeners today?
I know that it's overused where people say, you know, you have to realize that you're not alone. But when you're in a situation, I did not know anyone who had been in as traumatic situation as I was going through and lived, I guess, to tell about it or say, hey, you know, my life's not perfect. It was always very, very negative. And there were times that even though in reality I knew that I wasn't the only person going through something horrible, in my house, where I rarely got to leave because I couldn't drive for a long time, I did feel alone. And at that point, social media wasn't as huge as it is now. And if you reach out to those groups, those people that you find out online, they can truly help you because they do know the down and dirty of what it takes to get through something as traumatic as what I went through. And I would encourage everyone to reach out to those people and just not find camaraderie in misery, but find some camaraderie in getting over that challenge.
Beautiful. And remembering we're not alone, and we can reach out and we can get support. And it is a moment, and it will pass. So beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Carrie. I appreciate it. Listeners, we're going to let you know how you can connect with Carrie. And if you feel led to get a copy of her book, we're going to let you know how to do all of that at the end of the show. So stay tuned. We are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do so, I want you to really think about what Carrie has shared, what has spoken to your heart and to your spirit. And we'll look forward to continuing our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message. It's time to serve, learn, change the world. Tune in each week for The Power of Young People to Change the World, hosted by NYLC CEO Amy Mewers. The program is a forum for both young people and the adults who love and support them. We make connections with others through stories of change, partnership, and new perspectives of issues facing the world today. Be sure to join us every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and 3 p.m. Pacific Time, or anytime on demand on the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. That's EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and you had an opportunity to put your thoughts down and really see what is speaking to your heart and to your spirit. We are getting ready to have our next guest share, who I know you're also going to love. And she has also overcome some really big challenges and gone on her own healing journey as well. So I'm looking forward to what will be on her heart to share with us today. So let me take a moment and introduce her. Shawna Kutch is the founder of Journey into the Heart, a best-selling author and international speaker. She helps others live in divine love and self-acceptance. She is a family constellation expert, master shadow choreographer, and creator of the Relationship Alchemy. She's passionate about helping you find peace in all situations. Please lean in and warmly welcome the powerful and dynamic Shawna Kutch to the show. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
Excited.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely excited to have you joining us today. And I wanted to start our conversation with why. Why is this work of helping people in this way so personally important to you?
Well, I was 60 years old before I was able to finally get to define why my life was in such turmoil my entire life, and I'm very, very passionate that nobody else needs to go that long to find out what's in their energy field and what's running their life. And I'm very passionate, and I love changing lives.
I love that. So a lot of the work that you do in helping people change their lives has to do with shifting their energy, stepping into divine love, healing, and even getting to understand the shadow sides of themselves. I'd love for you to share just a little bit about that for those who this might be very new to, and why is it important for us to know about these things and shift our energy? Why does that matter?
Well, everything is energy first, and everything starts out energy, and it's created in matter. And so what goes on in our energy field is actually what's creating our life. So I had a scientist study my work, and he said only 5%. We only know 5% of who we are, and the other 95% are unconscious thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. And that's what I call shadow. Anything that's not aligned with your higher self is shadow. If it's shame or fear, but the most powerful that's in your energy field are your parental imprints, which sometimes is very traumatic, and ancestral baggage, which is 4 generations of resisting traumas or behaviors or things that have never been resolved. Does that make sense?
That does. So that baggage, in a sense, gets passed on generation to generation, and then we're continuing to carry it and not even be aware, because we're not aware of that 95%, but that we can heal from that, we can release that, we can move forward in a powerful way. And why, I guess my question around that is, why does it matter if we heal or don't heal, if we release that emotional baggage or not? Why is that important, and what does it do for us if we are able to heal in those ways?
Well, first of all, they've done the studies and proven that you pass on illnesses through this trauma, through this vibration that you carry, that you hold in your family system. It just keeps passing down from generation to generation. So it not only, like mine, it was self-sabotage. I just couldn't get my hands on any, I'd create amazing things and lose them. And I just had so much shame and fear and all the things that came from my trauma. I couldn't rise above that, those limiting things that stop you. And anybody that feels blocked, or they're in a repetitive, reoccurring dialogues, they can't seem to get along, they're in a toxic, codependent relationship, or they keep finding partners that are abusive, or they keep having these same patterns over and over with different people in their lives. It's all coming from their own energy field, where they're actually soul wound bonding with other people. And it's very frustrating to realize that you're actually creating that. It's hard for people to really own that.
Yes, I would think so. But in owning it, then they can shift it and move forward in a powerful way. And to me, this ties into us shining, because how do we shine if we're kind of bogged down with all this stuff, and we're sabotaging ourselves, or we're repeating these patterns that are not serving or aligning with what we really want to do in the world, or how we really want to be? So how can we start to heal and shift some of that so we can share those things in line with our highest truth?
Oh, you're so true. You're so right in that it makes us shine, because our love, our self-love, is not possible to love yourself if you don't even know yourself. If you have all these patterns and these voices in your head and these emotions and all these things, and you keep trying to love yourself, but there's all these things that don't even belong to you running your life. And one of my participants said she feels like she was cracked open and just rebirthed, because she had so much. She had, abuse in her childhood. She had ancestral stuff. She had parental imprints, and she was able to just open all these parts of herself up and just clear it out. And now she it's funny. She said, I have friends. She goes back in California in Salt Lake, and she says, I have friends everywhere, but I just like to be with my community of constellation people because I can be myself, and I've completely opened up. And so when you open up all your shame and your fears and your divine love gets to, you see how your divine love is being hurt and crippled or blocked because of these things, then you really get to know each other, and you're just in such a place of authenticity and not trying to be something you're not. And that's shining as far as I'm concerned, to love yourself unconditional. And that's the only way you can, is to really love those shadowy parts of you.
Thank you for sharing. I love that, and that visual of kind of being cracked open, and that can be a little messy, all that stuff. But underneath all of it, when it's cleaned out, you're able to shine from your core of who you are. And it is, when we see people, I know for myself, when I see people authentically in all their quirks, all their wonder, all of their ways of being in the world, that's who they are, it lifts my heart, it lifts my spirit, it makes me lean in. They shine just by being who they truly are authentically. And that has an amazing light to it, and it's impactful, and it makes a difference, because we're echoing stuff out all the time, whether we realize it or not. And wouldn't it be beautiful if more of us were willing to trust the world with who we really are, and be able to live in that and bring that forward. I love that.
That makes me laugh, because that's exactly what she said after she went to the retreat. And she said everywhere she went, people would touch her and tell her how beautiful she was, and just have to come up to her. And she said it was just like I was a whole new person. And it makes me smile to hear you say that, because that's exactly what happened to her. It's really, really fun to see people that were so injured. She was so struggled with everything in her life, and now she's completely free of all that.
Oh, thank you for sharing. It's so beautiful. And I know you are a speaker. You lead these powerful healing experiences for people, and workshops and retreats and constellations. And you also have written a book that you've brought forward as well to support and help people. I'd love for you to share the title of your book and a little bit about it, what you hope people learn from it.
Well, my book's called Big Souls Make Big Promises, because what I've discovered in doing this work for people is the people with the most energy, shadow in their field, usually have come here to do big things. And so you have the big catalyst. And they're also, I'm not saying big souls are better than anybody else, but they're here to do big things, and they want to get it done, and they don't waste time. They want to get in and get the stuff done, and they take it all the way, instead of just, that doesn't feel comfortable, I don't like that, because some people, they don't want that stuff to come up. They don't want to have all this stuff. But I give a 6-month coaching free with the retreat, just to make sure that I'm supporting them in whatever needs to come up. And because they're getting new neural pathways, their life is completely changing, for not just after it happened, but for months and even up to years. A year, I'll have people call me. So it's really the book helps explain it, because a lot of people did the work, and then they try and tell their relatives, and they didn't know how to describe it or explain it. So in the book, then I have case studies, and I have, more of an explanation of what happens. And what I get, the biggest thing I get when they sit next to me and I'm putting and they're watching, it's like watching a movie of their past, and they sit there and say, "This is mind blowing." That's what I hear the most. This is mind blowing, or I'll have them say, "I've never done anything this deep." So it's deep and it's intense, and only big souls are here to, to really get in there. And so it's not for everybody. This work is not for everybody. It's just for people that really want to take charge of their life and take it all the way. And to me, it's bringing your body to that light body, to shining, like you said. And really, I'm 70 years old, and I don't have health problems of any kind and I'm in as good a shape as my children because I don't have all this dark energy, and people don't realize they're aging because of this stuff that they're unconscious that's even in their body, and it's stopping their body from staying young and beautiful. And I'm 70, and I just went on a great trip with my daughter, and we had a great time,
I love it. I love it. And so the title of your book, one more time?
Big Souls Make Big Promises.
I love it.
And also what I have with that is the shadow journal. And I've had mothers thank me for that shadow journal because you get all your kids to track their shadows so that they own their stuff. And then every week everybody gets together and they share what's going on so that you learn to be empowered by what you're learning about yourself instead of blaming everybody else for what's wrong. It's fun.
I love it. That's exciting. And I love how it's being used to affect generations. I didn't know it was being used in that way, so that makes me happy. I'm excited to hear that. And why is it important?
I actually had a girl from Australia. She had 5 boys. And I had them at a bookstore. I had my stuff at a bookstore in Ireland. And she said, can I have, she wanted to buy 5 of them so she could have her 5 boys all do their shadow journals.
Wow.
So it's happening in Australia.
I love it. I love it. So beautiful to be able to not only have healing within ourselves and be able to shine authentically the way we're made, but also to help support future generations too. So I love that.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts that you want to share with our listeners today?
Well, yes, I just put everything that means everything to me into a Conscious Community website that actually hosts. It's a private social media, and it actually hosts. It was my dream to give all the information that I have and have it free on this website so they can access it anytime. There's relationship rescue, learning to love your shadow, I create my life, and be able to interact with each other and book discussions. So that's what I'm most excited about right now, because that's changing lives too.
Oh, I love it. That's very exciting. We are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And when we come back, we'll have Shauna share where you can find out more and connect with her, as well as some final tips to support you on your journey. So enjoy these 2 minutes. Remember to stay present, really take in what serves, release what no longer does, and we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Voice America is on your favorite smart speaker. If you have Alexa or Google Home, go ahead and give us a try.
Hey Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast on TuneIn.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes just for you. And I've promised throughout the show that we'll let you know how to lean in and connect with our amazing guests and tap into some of their resources and tools that they have. So I just want to make sure I'm circling back in and honoring that. And before I have them share, I just want to remind you of a couple of things. One, we're having them share their contact information on purpose. They are sincere in wanting to hear from you and reach out to you. So have your paper and pen ready. It's not just for a drill. If you felt a pull, a connection, I want to encourage you to follow up on that and to lean into them as resources to support you on your journey. I also want to encourage you to check out speakertalentsearch.com for those of you who are looking to bring your message forward to reach more people. That's a brilliant way to start the journey or continue the journey. So I encourage you to check that out. It's part of our give back and helping people connect with opportunities to be on more stages. And with that, I want to start with Carrie. Carrie, can you share the best way for people to connect in with you and where they can get your beautiful book?
Yes, thank you. I would say my website is the number one place that has all my information, and it's just my name. It's KariePortel.com. And on there, if you would like a signed book from me, you can order straight from my website, or the next place is Amazon, Facing Life Head On.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And Shauna, would you share the best way for people to connect in with you, where to get your book, as well as tap into this beautiful new resource that you've created?
Yes, I would love to. So journeyintotheheart.net, not .com, but not .net, is my website, and you will be able to have a free masterclass on Crack the Communication Code with men and women. And then if you want to email me, Shauna at journeyintotheheart.net, I would love to hear about you or hear from you. And I also have a 30-minute strategy session you can set up with me to help you understand what your shadow is or what questions you might have with your unconscious patterns.
Beautiful.
And that's on my website.
Beautiful. And this brand new world that you've created with all of these tools and information, can they also find that on your website as well?
Yeah, my book. Did you say my book? Yeah.
No,
yes, my book. The social media.
Yeah, the social media. So where they can lean in and learn and connect with each other as well. I'd love for them to know how to tap into that too.
Yes, just by signing up to the website. And right now we're offering at half price because it's very little, costs very little for what you're getting. Everything that I do is discounted through this, and it's only $34 a month, and
Nice.
or $36, something like that. But on there, you'll get everything free, and then and be able to get into conversations with everybody about what's going on, and the shifts that are going on in the earth, and everything that's going on in the healing communities. So,
Beautiful.
and great books to read to keep up with all this.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it. And listeners, I hope that you had your paper and pen ready. You can always listen to the replay if you missed any piece or you want to hear something again. We always encourage that. But I want you to take a moment at the end of the show today. Just take 2 to 5 minutes for you and reflect on what touched your heart and your spirit today. What did you feel a pull towards? What did you discover? What did you hear? And what, as a result of that, what next step do you want to take today? Not someday, but today. Because you are a gift. There's no one else in the world just like you. You are needed. And the biggest gift you can give the world is more of you. So I want to encourage you to be willing to discover all of who you are. Be willing to share the amazing, authentic, powerful, wonderful gift that you are with the world. That's how we make the world a better place, heart by heart, life by life. So enjoy the journey. If you're in a challenging place, remember it's for a moment. And that as you breathe through, you will continue to thrive, continue to shine, and really share the amazing gift of who you are with the world. So may you bloom and shine this week, and I look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.